Hello, I'm Mrs. C. I'm an ELL teacher at Florida Connections Academy. Today, I'm going to be going over the Unit 3, How Do People and Things Get From Here to There? Lesson 20, Best Ways to Travel Portfolio Assignment. This is a language arts assignment that has two parts, two worksheets that you'll complete at home and then turn into your teacher for a grade. The first worksheet is going to be a thinking web. It's located on slide 3 and it looks just like this. This thinking web comes from the story On the Move. So before you begin filling out your thinking web, go ahead and discuss the main idea with your learning coach. I know that On the Move was about different kinds of transportation used by people in different parts of the world, and it went over a lot of those different transportation types. So I think the main idea would be there are many ways that people can travel, right? All over the world. So there are many ways that people can travel. That's my main idea. Now I need to focus in on those key details. So I've got my main idea in the center. Now I need to give some of those different examples of how people can travel. Which examples of transportation do you remember from the story? One that I can remember was rafts. There were people that were traveling on rafts in the water, right? So that's one key detail. That's one example that I can put in one of these bubbles. All right, let's look at another bubble. What was another way people traveled around the world? Ooh, what about just cars, right? Cars. That's a way people can travel around the world. We do right here in the United States. All right, we've got a third bubble. What's another way people can travel in different places all over the world? I remember some people were traveling by camel, right? They were traveling on camels. So I'll put camels in this box. All right, my next one. Well, I guess it's really a circle, isn't it? Not a box. Ooh, what about that underwater travel? Who remembers that big word? Submarines. People can travel in submarines under the water. All right, now my last bubble. Trucks. We did cars. How can we forget trucks? People travel in trucks all over the world. So now my web is filled out. I wrote the main idea. There are many ways that people can travel. And then I wrote those different examples. Cars, camels, rafts, submarines, and trucks. These are all examples of ways people can travel. So now we've completed the first half of our assignment, but we have another worksheet we need to fill out that can be located on slide 5. So go ahead and go to slide 5. The title of this one is Main Idea. It looks just like this, and it's going to come from a story called Man on the Moon. I'm going to read that story to you now, and then we're going to talk about your worksheet together. This story is called Man on the Moon, and the author is Anastasia Swing. Moon. Do you remember your first visitor? It was 1969. Astronauts Collins, Aldrin, and Armstrong suited up. Each had flown in space, but no one had ever touched the moon. No one. Some said it couldn't be done. Astronauts Collins, Aldrin, and Armstrong were going to try. Into Apollo 11 they climbed. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1, and lift off! Lift off! Apollo 11 has cleared the tower! Saturn V shot them into the sky. Around the Earth they flew as rockets dropped off, then whoosh! Straight for the moon. Hours and days passed. The people on Earth watched the astronauts on TV. Over and over the capsule turned. Suddenly the sky went dark. It was the moon. For the first time, Apollo 11 saw the moon. The astronauts circled, looking for a place to land. In the morning, their spacecraft would separate. Columbia, named after Columbus, would sail around the moon. The Eagle, like a bird, would fly there. The next day Aldrin and Armstrong climbed into the Eagle. Collins and Columbia pressed a button, and off the Eagle flew. Buttons and gadgets, switches and lights, alarms rang again and again. In the control room, Houston said, "Go!" The Eagle flew on. On the moon, craters loomed. The Eagle was going too fast. Armstrong took the controls and began to fly. Houston and the Earth waited. 50 feet, 30 feet. Contact! Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. With cameras rolling as millions watched, astronaut Neil Armstrong touched the moon. That's one small step for man, he said. One giant leap for mankind. Aldrin and Armstrong took pictures, collected rocks, and planted the American flag. Hours later, the Eagle left the moon and linked up with Columbia. Home again, Collins, Aldrin, and Armstrong splashed down on the Pacific Ocean. Some said it couldn't be done. Mike Collins, Buzz Aldrin, and Neil Armstrong proved them wrong and made history. All right, so now you've heard the story Man on the Moon. I want you to look at these three pictures. There's a picture of a rocket ship. It looks like landing back in the Pacific Ocean. There's a picture of an astronaut stepping on the moon for the first time. And there's a picture of the moon's surface. All of these are details that could have come from Man on the Moon. All of these things happened. But I want you to color the picture that shows the main idea. So what is the most important part of this story that the entire story is really mostly about? Once you've decided, only color that picture. So only one of these three pictures should be colored. Once you get that worksheet colored, make sure you turn in your main idea worksheet you just completed and your thinking web worksheet. Both parts are going to be graded for your total grade for this assignment. So make sure you submit both. All right, that's it for me. I'm sure you did a wonderful job. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.